from Azari also. My very good friend and a classmate and also a roommate in medical school, the Deputy Senior Clinicals of ATB Teaching Hospital, Dr. Shwabea Kubu, who is standing as a guest as a friend and also representing the Chief Medical Director of ATB Teaching Hospital. They are also welcome. Other invited guests, my respected and highly workaholic members of the Top Management Committee, Federal Medical Center in Seoul. Other invited guests, my highly committed and dedicated staff. Today is your day, and we are actually organizing this program purposely for you, just to recognize you and to support ourselves and to build an environment where we can continue to build a system that will support everyone. Just my own is just an opening remark, and I will actually not take long of our time, rather just to appreciate everyone for coming. It is my honor to welcome you all to this our first end of year celebration, which stands as a proof of how far we have come together, and also a stark reminder of how more we can achieve. This occasion affords us the opportunity to reflect on our journey, to take stock on our achievements, and also to renew our collective commitments to the mandate of the hospital, which principally are the clinical service delivery, research and training, which is anchored in our motto of service resilience. Today's event is actually to celebrate excellence. The award recipients represent dedication, leadership and service beyond duty. We are privileged to have seasoned leaders and administrators who are going to beautify the ceremony by talking to us on the topic, the making of a great hospital, who is responsible. There is no better time to have this lecture in FMC Missouri than now. And I want all of us to kindly pay special attention and invite the spirit of patriotism so that which the lecture is actually going to usher us. The welcome of the day, the Deputy Chairman of the local government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to take us a short memory lane so as to understand and appreciate the sacrifices of today's recipients have made in making this hospital what it is. As most of us are aware, everything is so proceeded through very tough and difficult times. Following the signing of MOU between the federal government of Nigeria and the Bauchi state government, which formally announced the official takeoff of this hospital facility in October 2024, the hospital was handed over to us, as you are aware, with serious manpower and equipment challenges. And at the time, we actually have no resources because we were not captured in the budget for that year. But we had no option but to summon ourselves, to summon the courage and come down to commence clinical services with doctors among ourselves, seeing patients. I can recall the head of clinical services, who is a radiologist. In most occasions, you see him in the maternity, either conducting deliveries or even attending the antenatal care services. Just to make sure that the community of Benson and Embos, which actually have the confidence that the agency has been established in their setting, are actually not disappointed. While personally I stationed myself in Abuja, moving from pillar to first, to actually secure all the necessary approvals, my pioneer team were in the Seoul running services, sometimes even bringing items from their pockets. We actually and practically carefully navigated all the process and procedures necessary for the establishing a tertiary health facility in Nigeria, and finally assumed duty officially in May 2025, which on record is one of the fastest in the country in recent time. From that time, hospital has steadily recorded numerous growth and expansion in our clinical services, courtesy of you people, our committed and dedicated staff, which we are celebrating today. Some of these successes, just to mention a few. Actually, when we started with general outpatient departments, which runs from 8 to 2 p.m. But we later expanded to even cover the evening duty. So our GOPD runs from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also we established of our renal dialysis center, where we have 3 dedicated dialysis machines that serves a lot of patients and have saved many lives at the inception to date. Medical diagnostics, which covers laboratory and radiology services. Actually, when we came in, there were little available equipment there, but with the commitments, I know, with the understanding we have with my sister institutions and some friends around, we were able to actually get some equipment in both the laboratories and the radiological services, which as of today, we have a very functional banking system, very effective hematological and chemical pathology services. At the same time, in the radiology, we have actually a lot of equipment that run the conventional diagnostic services, which includes the conventional X-rays, ultrasound scan, and some special investigations. One of the milestones that I think worth celebrating today is also the establishment of Mama Yala College of Nursing Science, which is not just a project. It is just not a project delivered, but an investment for the future. It's a legacy that will shape the healthcare delivery for generations to come. The college has now over 700 students, which with 2 sets each for both basic and both midwifery and basic nursing programs. And we are even lucky, following the establishment of the College of Nursing, some of the institutions that we put together, they were also mandated to establish similar institutions. They are lagging behind. Now there's an embargo by the federal government that no institution should actually be established for. And we are now ahead of them. Certainly, this is a pleasure and we want to celebrate. The hospital, as we grow, also secured approvals and accreditation from the National Health Insurance Authority, where we now have full, our some have been enrolled, and we now have effective NHS service. At the same time, we have collaboration with BRACMA, and we also commenced the CMON, that's Comprehensive Emergency Obstetrics and Neonatal Care, which we signed MOU with the National Health Insurance Authority, and we have provided the services. At the same time, last week, toward the end of the year, we also have the dispensation panel from the Federal Ministry of Health, when we are accredited with the National Emergency Management and Ambulance System. That's NEMSAS, which is also going to commence immediately. Special Baby Care Unit, which is a center meant for special care of newborn babies, is actually was established in this facility, and as it is, we have dedicated consultants that always oversee the facility, and it's really functional as it is. A high dependency unit, which is like an ICU, is meant to serve and to take care of the critical ill patients, also been established, and is actually working very hard and saving lives. And I think it's also something worth mentioning. The security department, which was just unveiled like towards somewhere in December, is actually functional, and you can be surprised if you enter that place. It's always full to capacity because we have long list of patients that have been looking forward to that services. Just to make sure that our staff, despite being in quality, are also checkmates. So there is need for us to establish a SADICOM and anti-corruption and transparency, that's Act 2, which were already inaugurated, and at the same time they have been working very hard. That's what brings the sanity in the system. Staff are motivated, at the same time they are controlled to make sure that everybody is on speed to do what is right. At the same time, when we came in, we realized actually we have some areas that need people to be trained, particularly in the National Services Department. So we selected some areas and sent some of our staff. To call the number, we have 22 staff that were sent for training in various basic nursing programs. Some covers areas of accident emergency, ICU care, mental health, dialysis, peri-op, anesthesia, to mention a few. And you certainly will agree with me that since we started with the media resources and the challenges we have, but we have actually opened a door of sponsoring and optimizing our staff by sponsoring the conference and workshop, which most of the department actually have 1 or 2 of the staff that are actually sent for a conference, either within or without their zone, but all about the country. Electronic medical record has actually been established to simplify processes and to improve efficiency as well as going with the digital age. And FMC itself has now officially commissioned the electronic medical record system, so the hospital is being digitalized. Just to foster community engagement, the hospital has, in collaboration with the Royal Father, our father, through the Emirate Council, we're able to get the noble sons and daughters of Mr. Emirates, which we were made to be the new operators of the hospital, so to foster engagement with the community. And that has been, inaugurated, and we'll be working very closely, and that has actually translated into most of the successes that we're able to achieve. While just mentioning these three things, I think it is very important to say that while celebrating some very few individuals among ourselves that distribute themselves for the effective services they have rendered, it is very important to also bring to the notice of other staff. If you are not privileged to be called today to receive an award, you should know that I want to personally inform you on behalf of my personal self and the management of FMC that your effort is well noted and fully acknowledged. Your contribution is, your contribution is valued, and your role is very essential in all the successes of just mentioned. So even if you are not called here, mind you, your work is appreciated and you are really valued. I also want to end my remark by appreciating some very notable individuals and institutions which have actually been very supportive to us in the last 1 year that will be in existence. I will start by appreciating my boss, the person whose initiative and action actually made us to be here today. This is no other person but the Chigari of Misau, the Menasar Ambauchi, Professor Muhammad Ali Fateh, whose efforts and commitments actually lead us to where we are today. And he has continued to support us, to guide us, and to always listen to us. As busy as Minister of Health is, if I call or I place a text, within a few minutes, he'll call back, and he always listen to us. And problem everything, so he told me that it's his personal problem, and we'll continue to see. So all we've been seeing is actually the effort and the guidance for the coordinating minister, and I think his work's being appreciated. I also want to sincerely and thank the Emir of Misau, who has been a father to us, a pillar. He has already been a very seasoned administrator and a leader, and we have not left any stone unturned in thanking from the experiences and the wisdom that the Emir has, and we are very grateful, sir, and continue to lean on those shoulders, inshallah. My special thanks also go to my very agile and dedicated TMCs, particularly to mention my head of clinical sciences, the deputy head of clinical sciences, the director of administration, in person of Madam Suleiman Abdullahi, head of finance, head of audits, head of procurement, head of works and maintenance, and all other members of TMC. This particular group of people, actually at the time when nobody trusts us, nobody believed in us, FMC was just a paper. It was just giving based on provincial approval as a paper. But with the work of this very dedicated team, we were able to translate those papers into reality that we are witnessing today. So I want to sincerely appreciate you and thank you most sincerely. I will not also finish without appreciating the government and the governor of both states, because it's through their efforts that, to see this facility from the state government to the federal government takes a lot of purpose, leadership, and purpose. And as such, the governor and governor of both states deserve to be commended. So we actually appreciate the governor. My brother, the executive chairman of both the local government, has been very supportive, has been very, very useful, and the partnership has been excellent. My brother, I want to say a big thank you for being with us throughout the year, and we pray and hope that this relationship will continue and will be solidified to achieve more. I would also want to appreciate, though they are not with us, the Vice Chancellor and the managing staff of Bauchi State University. They have been very helpful to us. It will agree with me that some of my staff today, some of my students are actually being hosted in the Faculty of Law. And particularly, I want to appreciate the Dean of the Faculty of Law in Mr. Campos, who has also been very supportive. I will not finish without appreciating my brother and my elder brother, the CMD of Federal University Health Sciences of Azare. It's not just by coming here. You see a lot of things. There are people behind the scene that have actually been making us to do this. 2025 for all Nigerian systems, all know the challenges we have. But with the help of my sister institution, particularly the Federal University Health Sciences of Azare, has been very commendable. So I wanted to say a very thank you to you. My boss, the CMD of ATBTH, duly represented by the DCPCMAC, ATBTH has been very supportive to us. I want to say a very big thank you to the staff and manager of ATBTH. Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe, they have also been very supportive. My head of procurement is from Gombe. My head of nursing is from Gombe. My head of health relations is also from Gombe. And as it is today, his doors are always open. Whatever we know his door for assistance, he never says no. So I want to say a big thank you to the CMD of Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe. My other sister from me, Dr. Halima Magadas, I want to also say a big thank you to her. I have a lot of staff that are here. Just by me calling her and asking her that, I want somebody to just cover this section for me. She just said, okay, just put it in writing. You know, she's a woman writing. She always, only I got there, module I can play the phone. And there was no asking to write it, put it in writing. But one of them, my letter, which is needy, the next is just to start to be deployed to us. So we want to say a big thank you to her. You know, I cannot also finish without appreciating the Federal University of Health Sciences of Azare, where, you know, my boss is already there. I have to have a special thanks to that particular institution. I reserve a special thanks to one particular individual, you know, who has been with us through the thick and thin. He has been the guiding light for us. He's shining light since from the inception to date. And this is not another person but the DBC admin of Federal University of Sciences of Azare. All may be achieving through thick and thin, through nights, either in the night or in the day. You know, there's no time that we place a phone or want a phone to consult propaganda without listening to us. In fact, you have been there presently in almost all we did. So if you are being celebrated today, I think one of the persons that need to be celebrated also is Professor Khalid Muhammad. He has been with us all through. So I want to say a very big thank you for being with us. Just to say that having said all this, you staff of FMC Meso are the most critical, and I want to say a big thank you for you. You know, we started in a very rough time, and as you can agree with me that we'll always go stronger. So I want to get your commitments that in fact, let's continue to shoulder our responsibilities. Let's continue to cooperate so that we move the hospital forward. In conclusion, I pray that as we are witnessing this exercise today, may Almighty Allah continue to strengthen and guide us. God bless Federal Medical Center. So, God bless the local government. God bless North States. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you very much. You guys have not stand up for the champion. Of course, the champion has not spoken. Thank you so much. Please another round of applause for him. So, you know, for every successful journey, there has to be a good driver. And you are indeed a good driver. Thank you so much. Ladies, for your excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are still moving forward to the program. You know, before we go to the next item, I just want to remind us that this house is very, very blessed. We are having our Pioneer Award ceremony. So I want to remind this house that this house is full of pioneers. You are pioneer staff of this hospital. Please let's have a round of applause for ourselves. Our medical director is the pioneer medical director of Federal Medical Center. So please, a round of applause. Dr. Dauda Katawu is a pioneer chief medical director of Federal University Teaching Hospital. We are blessed. Our father, our mentor, also is a pioneer BDC administration of Federal University of Health Sciences. One of our speakers in person of Mohammed Kali is the pioneer, Director Administrator, Federal Medical Center, Federal University of Health Sciences, Azari, Teaching Hospital. So you can see we are blessed. And myself, I'm a pioneer, Head of Clinical Services, Federal University Teaching Hospital. So we are so much blessed. And you can imagine we are doing this program in a pioneer month of the year. We thank God for this success. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of our time, we are going to move into the next item, which is paper presentations. As I've said earlier, we have carefully selected people that we believe are going to impact positively in our journey towards establishing a very formidable, a very successful hospital in line with the vision and mission of our medical director, which is always a patient-centered care, well-motivated staff and discipline in this hospital. And you can believe with me, our medical director has never failed in this responsibility. He can travel from here to Abuja, pay for the flight, spend days in a hotel to work out the salary of one staff. This is one of its kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first paper presentation is going to be presented by Professor Mohammed Al-Kali. Sir, if you don't mind, I want to read your dissertation. If you can stand for the dissertation, sir. Your citation, sorry. You see, I received the CD of our mentor, our father. I tried to see how I can summarize it. Believe me, it took me almost 6 hours. I could not summarize. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an encyclopedia of knowledge, a scholar, and a mentor. Sir, permit me to briefly read out, a bridge citation of you from the professor, sir. Your Highness, sir, Professor Muhammad Al-Kali was born about 6 decades ago in Damban town. He attended Central Primary School, Misau, Government Secondary School, Misau, and Government Science Secondary School, Azari. He obtained his MBBS degree from University of Jos Teaching Hospital and immediately proceeded to University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, where he did his residency training and obtained a fellowship of the West African College of Physicians, gastroenterology, with special interest in liver. This gentleman standing in front of you, as I've said, is an encyclopedia of knowledge. He attended several institutions, in addition to the universities and the teaching hospital I mentioned. He also attended a university in Southwest UK, and also Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He never gets tired of seeking for knowledge. He has several responsibilities, both in administration and in academics, and also in community services. Just to mention a few, he was a member of ATDUTH Joint Development Committee. He was also a member Implementation Committee for Take-Off of College of Medical Sciences, ATDU Bauchi. He was a chairman medical subcommittee of for the ATDU Take-On Training Workshop. He was head of Quality Assurance Development Internal Medicine. He was a member committee of ATDU TechFund. He was a member, he was a member, he was a member, and he is a member. He has working experience. He did his house job in Rochester Specialist Hospital, NYC, in Pilgrim Baptist Hospital in Sele Uku. He was a medical officer in Specialist Hospital Bauchi. Did his register. He was a registrar, round down to consultant, chief consultants, finally at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Teaching Hospital. He's presently, as you are aware, he's a professor of doctoral enterology with ATBU as well as Federal University of Health Sciences. And not only that, he is the PDC administration of that very university. In terms of responsibility, as I've said, he's held several administrative positions that are too numerous to mention. But just to mention a few, he was the head of clinical services / chief chairman medical advisory committee of the Bay Federal Medical Center. He also acted as a acting medical director of that same institution. He was also the pioneer, which I forgot to mention, Chief Medical Director, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital. He has been a visiting consultant of more than 10 institutions, and he is still doing it in order to train young doctors, to train other healthcare professionals. He is also a visitor to this very institution, Federal Medical Center, Mission. He is an academician. He has conducted several researches. He has more than 100 papers to his credit. He has presented so many, peer review articles, conference papers, both national and international. Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, we can go on and on and on. In order not to, take too much of our time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present to you the icon of knowledge, a mentor. There's a world and was humility, Professor Muhammad Al-Kali, wakilin Golan Nisau, wakilin Maganin Nafada, Kalban Damba. You're highly welcome, sir. Is it okay? Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Nisau, Alhaji Ahmed Suleiman, MNI, the Executive Chairman of the local government, who is our chief host, our Amiable Medical Director of the Federal Medical Center, Azare, my brother, our CMD of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Azare, other distinguished members of the high table, my fellow staff. Good, is it afternoon? We have reached afternoon. We are between morning and afternoon. Well, the topic is very easy. It is a question which probably will have an answer by the time we finish. The dream of every person, whether you are it is a house you are building, or it is an institution you are heading, or you are in a school, you want it to be the greatest. And our topic is a hospital. And so we want our hospital to be the greatest. But if we want to do, we know for you to do things, there are various actors. Now, who is responsible? Who can make that institution great? That's our question for today. Probably we'll have an answer. Probably we may not. Which one? How I'm right? Which one do I use? Okay. Okay. Thank you. What are the mandates of a tertiary institution, hospital like our own? There are three simple methods. Probably the first one is the only one most of us know, service. Majority come thinking to be attended and get well. But there are other two mandates, trainings and research. Unfortunately, in the whole law, it has not said which is greater than which. So let us not underestimate training or research to the background. It is equally as important as the service. Because if the service was more important, the government would have said so. Now, we said we want to have a good hospital. What are the qualities? Because if you want to aim to do something, you need to know what it is. So what are the qualities? We'll go through some of the qualities. One, this is the one most of us think of. Infrastructures and facilities. Because most people judge an institution by its beauty, the good structures, the everything, and the number of facilities. They have CT, they have everything. People think that is a requirement. Yes, it is. But as we can see, there are many other things. It is not the only one. And under that, we'll say a modern and well-maintained facility. It's not just having it, but if it is not well-maintained, it is useless. So we have to take note on that. Then adequate bed capacity. In as much as possible, you should know your catchment community and you should be able to cater for most of the general needs, except in cases of extreme emergencies. And of course, state-of-the-art equipment. Now we are too much fascinated by saying digital that the computer did that. Yes, it's part of the requirement. It is work. The second important quality is leadership and governance. There has to be an established, strong leadership. They said the fish start getting rating from the head. And when I say that, I'm not taking only the overall head of the institution. Even in our respective departments and units, we need strong leadership because it is what will drive the operation of that unit and department. And of course, for that to happen, there has to be clear policies and procedures because people come from their different background, from their different houses with their different schedule. As soon as they step into the place of work, they should be able to know what is expected of them. And that is the clear policies and procedures that will guide. And I'm sure that is going to show in the awards. Because some of the people that will receive it now are people who have shown trying to not create their own way, but we follow the laid down procedures that are there. And of course, accountability and transparency in this modern era, one should not joke with that. Whatever is entrusted on you, you have to be accountable. Anytime you are asked to explain, you should be able to explain, and you should be transparent. There is nothing to hide because it is other people's work. Staff development and management. This is very important because the field workers are the staff, and there has to be a policy. I'm happy I've had some people are already been sent to train because of the gaps that are there. There has to be it's a very important component. And of course, staff engagement and motivation. The staff need to be motivated. If people are to put in their best, they should be sure that when it is time to get an alert, they will get an alert. When it is time to be recognized for excellence, they should be recognized. And when it is time to probably maybe get additional treatment, training or others, they should be. And of course, effective staff management. It's not just having the number of staff, but you should try to avoid redundancy. Redundancy kills a place. If you have staff that you don't have what they will do, those people will come and they will not do anything. At the end of the day, they will be doing their personal things. And it will be painful to the others who are overburdened while others are not doing anything. So the staff have to be effectively managed. The next one is partnership and collaboration. Nobody will do it alone, and nobody can do it alone. You have heard the MD said he's always in touch with other sister institutions where he has gap. They support him. That's how it should be, and it should be with other healthcare providers, with the community, and of course with research and innovation. You need to be doing research. You need to encourage people who have innovative ideas so that we can move forward. These are still continue. We have quality of care. Quality of care is one of the major attractions for people to come. People travel far if they hear that the quality of service that is being given is good. They won't mind the distance they will spend to reach there. And so this is very important in the sense that, and for you to achieve that, you need skilled and experienced staff, you need state-of-the-art equipment, and of course, evidence-based treatment protocols. That will help you for other people to replicate whatever you are doing. If it is not evidence-based, it is not scientific and it cannot be replicated. Patient-centered care. Do I ask you who is the most important person in this hospital? The patients. Because without the patients, there won't be management, there won't be staff, there won't be building. So we should know that whatever we are doing, we should target to achieve patient satisfaction in as much as possible. You cannot satisfy everyone, but at least that should be your goal. And of course, there has to be effective communication. Whatever you are doing, if the person you are trying to help does not even understand what you are doing, it is useless. So you have to communicate effectively. And of course, it has to take care of the cultural environment you are working in. What may be acceptable if you are working, for example, in Akwa Ibom, may not be acceptable here. And this Hello? Okay, we are back. So this is very important to take care of the culture of where you are. And of course, patient safety and quality improvement. When you want to do something, you have to make sure you are conscious. You do not do things that will harm the patient. The patient will go with a small problem. If you are not careful, you create a bigger one for him. And of course, quality improvement. In whatever you are doing, if you don't attempt to improve, you will deteriorate. So you have to be reviewing what you are doing and see how you improve. And of course, you have to do monitoring and evaluation. What you set out to do, are you doing it correctly? Are there better ways you can actually make it better? That is very important. Now, though it's not very clear, but we'll see the details clear. What I try to do here at the center is a setup of what could be considered as an ideal good hospital that people will see has good services and everything. Now, who are the key players? No single individual, no single group could be responsible. And I have mentioned them to include the government, the community, the CMD, the management, the patients, and of course, the staff. So these 6 groups are the key players. And we'll look at the role of each and see what we do. I'm very uncomfortable with the protection. It's not good. This one is better. So let's start with the government. What is the responsibility of the government in this institution or in any hospital? Ownership. It is the owner. And you know what it means when they say somebody is the owner. It is his property. He has only allowed you to work here or to manage it for him. So we have to take control of that. And because of that, it gives you legality of existence. If you don't have the government backing, you don't have legality. Before this hospital became, somebody pronounced on behalf of the government that the president has approved the establishment. And then it was taken to the National Assembly, they passed a law,
it was gazetted, then it is legally entity. That means it can sue and be sued. Then funding. Majority of the funding comes from the government. That is the responsibility of the government. Policy direction. Because of that now, it will from time to time, since it is the owner, it is the funder, give you policy on how they want you to run that institution. And of course, oversight. From time to time, they will come to see, are you doing it correctly? Just now, the CMD of Azare said he came late because people from the Accountant General came to check on something. Even here, they will be coming. They will be coming everywhere because it's their own property. So do not be surprised to see them. But what are the challenges related to the responsibility of the government? We know inadequate funding because it has so many agencies. You think you deserve more, but the government may feel there is another place that needs more than you. So at the end of the day, the funding is not adequate. And of course, frequent policy changes. You may be doing something, the community and the staff are used to it. The government will give you a very difficult task and say, from today, don't do that or do that. You have to change. And it is now the onus is on you to now try and sensitize the people involved and the community that this is the new way of doing things. Chaotic oversight. I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. You will be receiving visitors until you are tired. They will be taking the same thing. They will be coming from different places and they will come with different standards. Somebody will say, this is how you are supposed to do it. And when somebody comes, he said, no, it's supposed to be this. So it is very chaotic, but you have to deal with it because it is the government property. And of course, poor response to emerging labor relatives. He who wears the shoes knows where it pinches most. You are the one managing the institution, you know the greatest problem, you know what you can do to make the place better. But since it is not your property, it is the government that will ultimately. And most often, because they are far away from where the issues are, they are very insensitive. We know now some of the health workers have been on strike for over 2 months. Some have been in and out and they are threatening to go back to the strike. And you that is here, for all the patients and the community are concerned, you are insensitive because you have refused to attend to them. Meanwhile, the person that will solve the problem is somewhere. So this is one of the challenges. Now, the community. What is the responsibility of the community? Yes, they have the facility here. It is the major beneficiary. Whatever you can do, you cannot take that away from it. Because you seek help where it is closest to you. So there's a major beneficiary. Because somebody from Kaduna will benefit from this facility, it is people from Nisa that will benefit at the environment. And they are the chief host of the hospital. Is on their land. And even the staff are accommodated by them. Don't say you are renting. Don't say you have built your house, it's still their land. So they are the chief host. They provide security support to staff and the facility. There are many facilities we know where people from the community disturb the hostel with threats so much, all the staff are not safe, they are frequently attacked. And people will not want to go and work there. So if a community is doing well in terms of that aspect, it will attract people to come. And of course, they support gaps in the hospital needs. We already identified that government funding is inadequate. So when the community is cited, they can see where they can come in to now fill in the gap. And I'm sure the MD has many stories of where this particular community, led by the area, even before they receive a cover, they get support so that they keep on moving. That's how it's supposed to be done. And of course, they provide good public image of the hospital. No matter how well you are doing, if they don't project you well to the rest of the world, you will have problems. And that's the responsibility of the community. But what are the challenges? in carrying out the responsibility that is boomeranging on the hospital. They have ignorance on the process in a tertiary hospital. I'm sure he's having the same problem. A tertiary hospital is not a primary health center, it's not a general hospital. When you come, there are procedures, there are stages. Before you see a consultant, you see this one, you see this one. But the expectation is that somebody will wake up from his house and come straight, he will tell you, I want to see a soldier. But in a tertiary hospital, that is not how it's done. Different from a general hospital. So they are ignorant of this. I remember when we first became a hospital at Bauchi, I was confronted after coming out from the house by one journalist, and he said that he doesn't understand that they said this hospital has become a teacher hospital. I say yes. But he came with his patient and has been transferred and has been referred to Maiduguri. So it's all politics. It's not a teacher hospital. I say, well, tell me one hospital in the world that does not refer. So referral does not mean anything. There is no hospital that has all the services. So, and I said it will continue, and sometimes you even refer to the lower hospital. So referral does not mean that the hospital does not answer that name. And I said, secondly, if you say it is a teaching hospital, it is a process. This is a medical center, it's a process. It will take time before it reaches that stage that you say, yes, it has all the full complements. So the community needs to know that. Then undue interference. There are a lot of undue interference because the institution is local. Many people think it is a local institution. We are the stakeholders, we are the people that talk and hear in town. So if things are happening, I need to be involved, I know he has been having the challenge a lot. Even me indirectly, some came through me to him. But I tell him that it's not like that. It is a federal institution. Even the state government has no say. It has no say in this institution, but courtesy, you interact. But it has no say. So let us get these things clear. The location is here, and the way you run it based on what you receive from the owner. We have to let the community know. So you may have your local issues, but when it comes here, they have their way of doing things. Political and social rivalries. Sometimes you see issues in the community. This person is not having issues. Is having issues with this, and you are doing something, you recognize this person will say you have not recognized it, and he's a major stakeholder. All these small issues are some of the actually challenges in the hospital, like this. And of course, failure to differentiate between rights and privileges. People should know that there are certain things that are not rights. And sometimes people will come and even be hostile. And many people are actually selfish. There was a time in Bauchi, a patient was brought, and it was a mass casualty. And at that time, it is clinical judgment that determines which patients are attended first. So when the staff were attended to the most critical, some patient relatives came and were harassing the health workers. And in the harassment, they disrupted the service to the critical and even to their own patient. They say you should leave this one and attend. We have to call the security to take them away. Because they have no right to come and interfere how you use your judgment to do that. It's different from they bring a patient, there is nobody, and the health worker is sitting down, he has not attended. That's a different scenario. But when you have so many injured patients, you look at the most critical, not the one that is closest to you. So this is things. And of course, over expectations. I've given the example of the over expectations. There was also a time somebody came and said that we were becoming a teaching hospital, and the consultant said, it's a visiting consultant that came from somewhere, and he said he can only see 50 patients. And the journalist was complaining to me that Why can't he? I said, well, the consultant is supposed to take his time to attend and address problems that will not be solved elsewhere. And so he's more concerned about quality than quantity. It's not the number of patients that he has seen, but the number of problems, unresolved problems, he's able to solve. So I tell him that if by the time we become full teaching hostel, you are lucky he's coming as a visitor. A consultant cannot see 50 patients for you. So even him, if you go to his place of residence, he cannot see 50 patients for you. So the expectation has to be clearly defined, and we have to do a lot to address that. The patients, well, they are the real owners of the facility, because even though we say it is the government, but the patients is because of them all of us are here. So they are the actual. And they are very diverse groups with competing needs. I have given some of these examples. Everybody has his own needs, and he feels his own is a priority. And what are the challenges of that? No problem. I will rush. They are poorly educated on matters related to the hospital, so they don't know how it is done. And of course, they are impatient to follow rules. They think the hostel is like any other place where there are shortcuts. And of course, mainly concerned with self. And sometimes they are hostile. The management, the major responsibility, they are the major pillar for implementation of policies, and they stabilize governance, how they conduct themselves. And of course, can be a major drawback if diversity is not well managed. Even though the number of management staff are few, if that diversity is not well managed, it can be a problem. And of course, there could be personal and professional rivalries and competition. We know how the health sector is. You can't take that away. And of course, the medical director, his major responsibility is the chief accounting officer. All of you in the eyes of Lord do not exist. He is one that exists. So he is one that will answer for everything that you do in your various places. So that is the meaning of chief accounting officer. And of course, he is to manage all the issues and chart way for the development of the hospital. His major challenge is just one, but it's the biggest. He is to manage the conflicting internal and external strategies. That is it. They are very conflicting. Some of them are local health, but he has to manage them. The staff, they are the major vehicle for implementation of policies. They are the ones that drive the process. And they provide the actual image of the hospital. Their attitude, the way they receive patients, the way they do their work, is the actual image of the hospital. And of course, can be a source of major breakthrough in knowledge and care. Because they can do research, they can innovate, and of course, they are a link with the community. They live in the community sees them, so they form a useful link that can be utilized very well. The challenge is that they are very diverse group, consisting of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and can be influenced by many factors, many of which are even external. Overconfidence on the role of godfathers to solve problems. Many people think that because they came through somebody, they can do whatever and survive, but that is not the case. Until you fall outside, you see. Interprofessional rivalry is becoming very critical in the health sector, and reliance on universalism to cover lapses. Most people think they can do whatever and then get cover from universalism. And of course, appropriate remuneration, it can never come to an end. People are always asking for more. So the question is, who is actually responsible for making a great hospital? I just want a person to say, to guess. Yes? No. I said only one person. Why is it not working? Okay. All the key players are responsible, but the staff are the most critical. Whatever anybody does, it is the staff that will implement. And whatever thing that the government or anybody put in place, it is the attitude of the staff that will determine the image of the place. And it is what will make the place to grow. So the staff are actually the key. So why are they important? We just mentioned them. They implement the policies. When you have a well-trained, motivated, and focused staff, they are key to making it the operation and maintenance of equipment and facilities. If the staff are not doing well, they can spoil whatever you supply and it will not work. And the quality of care, patient care, and patient safety and quality improvement are all to be done by the staff. And of course, the public image is mirrored from the staff. Staff are key to community engagement. And of course, ethical practice, research, and innovations are also dependent on staff. Having said that, I think why should the staff of FMC Azare be interested in developing a great hospital? FMC is so sorry. I also had my root from FMC Azare, so don't blame me. They have signed to work here and give in their best. Everybody was given an appointment letter with a condition and you wrote an acceptance. So now you are already committed, and that's why when you do the wrong thing, you can be punished because you have already signed an agreement. And everyone is natural in life want to be identified with the best. I'm sure wherever you are, if you hear this institution is being praised, you'll be very happy. And if the opposite is being said, you'll be sad. So, and it is your social identity. Now, the only thing you'll be requiring is a staff of that place. So that is your identity. So you have to work to make it great. And it gives them economic protection. You know that you are working for something, and you so your mind psychologically more stable. And you need to be part of the long-term history. You have just heard in the introduction they are saying pioneer, pioneer, pioneer. It means whatever this hospital becoming in the next 200 years, you are part of it. You are part of that history. And it is their immediate community and maybe the first to need the services. If you fall sick today, it is this place that will treat you. So if you contribute for this place to become great, you'll be treated in a great way. And if you are the person that contributes to making this place a less great place, you will also be treated the same way. So even for yourself, you have to make sure you work for it to be. Having said that, it will protect them positively in larger national and international community and will attract support and grants. When the name is going and is good, everybody will like to partner with the place. And of course, and it makes their work and that of the management easier. If everyone is doing what he's supposed to do, your work will be easier. Having said that, in conclusion, the making of a great hospital is an achievable target by any hospital despite the obvious challenges. While there are many key players to achieving that, a well-trained, motivated, and disciplined staff with the right attitude is central to achieving that. The management should mobilize all the key players to make the FMC Misau one of the greatest hospitals. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for him. This is not enough. Another round of applause for him, please. This is a knowledge that no money can buy. You see, when I say people that of experience, this is experience. Even AI cannot give you this experience. So thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate that knowledge. I believe you can see me taking my notes. MD said, please, we should be taking notes of what these eloquent scholars are going to share with us. I'll be taking my notes. Don't think that you have the brain to hold it. There's one adage in China that said, the faintest key is more reliable than the brightest brain. Meaning, no matter how great your Bible is, it's better to write it down. Don't think that you are the best. Thank you very much, sir. I think we can proceed to the next presentation, who is also going to be delivered by a seasoned administrator who rise through ranks in health institutions, and as I said earlier, a pioneer, the pioneer director of administration of Federal University of Health Sciences Teaching Hospital, Azare, in person of Madam Muhammad Ibrahim Kari. Please, can I invite Fatima from the Nutrition Department to give an abridged citation of the presenter while he stands.
The Royal Father, sir, the Emir of Misau, Al-Haji Ahmed Suleiman MNI, my CMD, I call him 001, the chairman of Misau, the BBC Professor Al-Ghani Muhammad, you're welcome, sir, the CMD Musa, my BA, all protocols duly observed. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. When I was given this citation to it, I was so curious, like, can I go? But when I go to, I know it's my father's citation. I'm going to, so I know it's an easy to go, inshallah. Muhammad Ibrahim Kari was born in Kari town, Darazo local government area of Bauchi State. He obtained his first school leaving certificate from Kari Primary School. He proceeded to Government Comprehensive Day Secondary School, Misau, in 1983. For secondary school education, he completed secondary education of Science Secondary School, Darazo, 1988. Muhammad secured admission at University of Maiduguri, 1989, and graduated from the Department of Political Science. He did his NYSC in Injukoka, local government of Anambra State. Permit me to go to it because I know the timekeeper is eyeing me, but I can't proceed before telling you some of the achievements and who is he. He was former this, former that, and was this and that. He was the pioneer planning officer of FMC, which he obtained. He started his first career appointment as administrative officer 2 at Federal Medical Center, Azare, Bauchi. That is in FMC Azare, not as his first career, sorry. Pioneer procurement officer of FMC Azare, pioneer DA. He was former this and that, if you remember, I told you. Hospital service revolving fund coordinating, you can count 1. Drug revolving funds committee, editorial board, committee on manning level, junior staff appointments, promotion of disciplinary committee, Servicom committee, staff of the year awards committee, top management committee, and secretary board of management. He obtains masters. So let me just give you a few. Master's degree in public administration with specialization in public personal management from National Open University in 2014. Master's degree in public policy and administration, NPPA, from DUK 2015. He became head of administration of Federal Medical Center, Azure, 2014. He was promoted to the rank of director, 2024. He was also pioneer, director of administration of Federal University of Health Science, Teaching Hospital, Azare, Bauchi, and he recently completed a bachelor degree PhD in public governance and leadership at University of Abuja. He is also a professional member of the Institute of Health Sciences Administration of Nigeria, ISAN. He is happily blessed, peaceful marriage, and is blessed with children. But he's adopting me now because permit me to tell you I'm the pioneer head of Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, also committee staff of the year awards, also serving company members, so they are adopting the now local permission of the area, sir.
The Executive Chairman of Mr. Local Government, sir, our Royal Father, Elder Officer, my Chief Medical Director, Dr. Golda Abubakar Katago, the Zamna Dishima of Katago, the Medical Director of the Medical Center, Mr. Dr. Rufai, my Oga, my boss, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Health Sciences, Professor Muhammad Akani, other distinguished guests here present, my fellow staff, good afternoon. I consider it an honor and privilege to be one of the speakers on this great occasion, that is the celebration of Staff of the Year 2025 of Federal Medical Center Misau. I commend the management of FMC Misau for this bold initiative. In fact, it is one of the things that management should do, meaning to motivate staff to put in their best, because the Public Service Rule, Chapter 6, Section 1, Rule 1 to 11, has stated clearly that staff with outstanding performances, staff who distinguish themselves, should be appropriately recognized by gifts, by monetary gifts, by certificates, and what have you. So the medical director and your management team, what you are doing is in consonance with the public service rule. Thank you. Well, part of what I'm going to say, or all of what I'm going to say, has been said by my other Professor Muhammad Alekali, but there is just one line of difference where we are going to see between me and him. Sir, with due respect, I'm not trying to be disobedient. I'm only trying to be an administrator. So most of what I'm going to talk, it will be like from an administrator's perspective. Now, the preamble. When we say something is great, it simply means it has an outstanding quality. It is of great value. It is magnificent. So if you are trying to make a hospital, a tertiary hospital like FMC is so great, we have to bear in mind that there are many factors involved in this. Many actors, many stakeholders are involved. But before we go to that, what is a tertiary hospital? A tertiary hospital simply means a hospital that provides specialized services, state-of-the-art services with professional staff, using modern technology and ensuring there is expert management. That is the meaning of tertiary. And Federal Medical Center is a tertiary hospital. As it was clearly said by Professor Alekali, there are basically three core mandates of tertiary hospital, of which FMC Misau is one. The first one is to provide a wide range of healthcare services, which I don't want to mention them. Number two is to provide training to health personnel and paramedical staff. I'm happy Federal Medical Center has started training in the form of School of Nursing, where they are going to provide manpower to take care of nursing profession. This is one of their mandates. The third one is conduct quality research. Research helps in productivity. Once research are carried out, they help to improve human nature. They make things better. So these are the mandates of tertiary health institutions which FMC is pursuing and shall continue to pursue to make it great. Now, having said that, we look at the next thing. What and what constitutes a hospital to be great? During the course of my research, I identified 6 actors or 6 different stakeholders. I will briefly talk on them because of time constraint. The first one is federal and state government. Without federal or state governments, you will never have a tertiary hospital like Federal Medical Center Misau. For information, federal medical centers and teaching hospitals are created by governments.
For instance, all teaching hospitals came into existence by virtue of Decree number 10 of 1985, while federal medical centers at present use Decree of 22. There is a Dependency Act that was established in 22. So you see, it is federal government that established federal medical centers and teaching hospitals so that they can exist and provide service. Closely related to that is funding. You can't establish a tertiary hospital without giving it money. You provide personnel costs to pay salaries. You provide capital grants to buy equipment and build gigantic projects. Likewise, federal government provide regulatory oversight, meaning it makes sure that things are being done as and when due. So this is why federal and state governments are key to making a tertiary hospital great. The second act is hospital management and governing boards. What does it mean by saying hospital management? Meaning the management of that particular hospital. For instance, if you are talking about FMC, it simply means the medical director, the head of clinical services, the director of administration, and all other TMC members, together with the head of departments and units, they make up the leadership or the management, and they anchor the development in that particular institution. Governing boards are normally people of high caliber that are appointed by the president to make sure they make policies and ensure conducive environment for the take-off and survival of the teaching hospital or federal medical centers. So the next important act in making a hospital great is healthcare professionals and other professionals. When I say healthcare professionals, here I mean doctors, nurses, lab scientists, physical therapists, lab technicians, and other professionals. Other professionals include administrators, accountants, engineers, so on and so forth. Because hospital is a system that has subsystems which they interrelate and they depend on each other to survive. So it is a combination of both medical and non-medical staff that make hospital great. That is the explanation. The next one is patients and the general public. Patients are the people that come to access or utilize services. Without patients, there will be no hospitals. Without patients, there will not be need for doctors, pharmacists, and other staff in the hospital. So they are key. So we need to treat our patients with care, concern, and courtesy. The next is the general public. The general public provides support to the hospital. Hospital big offerings are drawn from the general public. Some philanthropists also come from the general public. So they are also key to making a hospital great. Next slide, please. Training institutions and regulatory bodies. This one has much relationship with the training aspect of tertiary hospitals. Before you become a training ground for nurses, for health officers, for intern pharmacists and the like, you must satisfy some conditions by regulatory agencies. That's why I mentioned Medical and Dental Council. If you want to start training health officers, which I'm sure in due course, FMC will be doing that. If you want to train nurses, intern nurses, you need to get accreditation and approval of National and Midwifery Council to make it formal and make it viable for you to train intern nurses. So on and so forth. Now, if you eventually become a teaching hospital, for you to be training medical students, you have to have the approval of universities and colleges of medicine. While if you are now ascending to train residents, then postgraduate medical colleges will give you approval. So this contributed in making hospital great. Then the last but the least is the private sector, development partners and non-governmental organizations. These ones, they give support, financial support, research support, and collaboration to make hospital great. We all know that nowadays funding is not forthcoming from federal government and state governments where the case is. So most at times, it is these non-governmental organizations and development partners that come to the aid of tertiary hospitals. Sometimes they sponsor training, sometimes they buy and donate equipment. I mean, some philanthropists go to the extent of buying vehicles, building structures like in our center, in our teaching hospital. People like Talman Katalman went ahead to donate, to build, equip, and donate a whole watch. Prior to that, he bought and donated an ambulance. So you can see philanthropies which come from the general public can help in making the hospital great. So what I'm just trying to say is these 6 stakeholders are what make a hospital great. But to me personally, what makes a hospital great is leadership. It is leadership that makes hospital great. I have my reasons, and we take them one by one. First, what is leadership? According to an American scholar, Brian Tracy, he said leadership is the ability to elicit extraordinary performance from ordinary people. Meaning somebody who can now influence, who can make you perform extraordinarily is what is called a leader. So a leader is a person that motivates, that charts a new course for you and ginger you to put in the best. For leaders to make this happen, they need to have the ability, they need to have the intention, they need to have the determination to do that. That's why some scholars say for leaders to be competent, they need to understand 2 laws. Law of cause and effect and law of belief. What is law of cause and effect? Simply means, or simply put, if you see somebody progressing, if you see a country progressing, if you see an institution becoming great, there must be reasons. There must be programs. There must be this and that. So it is for you now to understand what are the reasons behind making that organization great. Then you copy, you formulate, you imitate, and you surely become great. So leaders need to know how to make things great by copying from those that become great. The second one is belief. Belief simply means have the conviction you as a leader that I can make it and my co-leaders can make it. Now if you have that conviction within you, you surely go to the promised land. So these are the 2 concepts that say make leaders to be competent. Law of cause and effect and law of belief. Scholars have written extensively on what roles hospitals specifically to be played to make them great. I mentioned one guy who outlined 11 points. I'm going to take one by one briefly and tell us. But before I do that, I quoted Henry Ford. Henry Ford is an American philanthropist, an engineer, and a business magnate. He was said to be the owner of Ford Motor Company in the US because by 1908, Ford's Model T was made available for all to acquire it because of his likeness of people who have access to vehicles. Even with that contribution to humanity, he still said, and like us, I will have the highest regard for the person who manages men effectively. So managing men to him is more important than making things in abundance to the public. The first point I want to look at is competent hospital staff. For hospital to be great, for hospital to be successful, we need to have competent. When I say competent, I mean when it comes to recruitment, the right caliber of people must be employed. The right caliber of people must be trained. The right caliber of people must be trained, and there should be discipline. Discipline means people should obey the rules and regulations. There should be forthrightness, there should be honesty, there should be sincerity. On the other way around, if people are indisciplined, then the hospital will never become great. Now, public service law has clearly said, told us how to penalize or sanction people who are indisciplined. Chapter 10, Section 3, 4, and 5 are very, very clear of what constitutes indiscipline. General inefficiency, misconduct, and serious misconduct. And there are penalties for that. So for a hospital to be great, it must have disciplined staff. And when these staff are found to be wanting, they must be penalized. That is the message there. There should be also appraisal. Appraisal makes staff to be on their feet. It makes them to be objective. It makes them to be productive. So there should be a mechanism where staff need to be assessed in order to put in their best. Likewise, there should be grievance redress mechanism. If there is a problem within staff in an organization, there should be a way, a manner to trash that problem. Some staff are full of escalating matters to outside forces instead of exhausting it inwardly. If there is a problem between a staff and staff, there is a channel you follow. head of departments, head of directorates, chief executive, then it escalates to board of management. When there is no board, it goes to the ministry. This is the procedure sanctioned by the Public Service Code. Organizations must ensure these are in place in order to make sure that there is discipline and that society becomes great. Conflict resolution. Management should also have a way of resolving conflict. Of course, some organizations face internal crisis. So it is incumbent on management of that particular territorial institution to know how to resolve conflicts. Most cases, it requires sitting with the people with the grievances. If it is maybe you sit down with them, give them audience, understand their grievances, and try to resolve it amicably. If it is a national issue, sit down with them and tell them that this is a national issue. Try to provide service, particularly in hospital sector. Try to provide service to the people because what matters most is the people and the populace where you are in. The next point that makes a hospital great is ensuring patient satisfaction. There has to be a friendly environment. Friendly environment simply means an environment where workers or professionals show care, concern, and courtesy to patients, where clinical needs are provided, instruments, equipment, good water and electricity system, so on and so forth. All must be there to make sure the hospital performs its duties very well. The next point is effective handling of hospital environments. By effective handling of hospital environment, it simply means the management of that particular hospital must ensure that work does not stop. It's 2/4/7. 2/4/7 meaning non-stop work. That's why we have staff that are on call, that are on shifts, and even during strike and public holidays, management should ensure that work does not stop, so that the public and everybody will have services to draw from that particular institution or hospital as the case may be. Closely related to that is coordinating activities of the department and units. You know, for work to be done, there must be leadership. There must be a department. General Operation Department, Pediatrics, O&G, Administration. These have leadership. Leadership must be committed, meaning the leaders we put there must be committed and be willing to contribute to management goal of making the hospital great. That is another point under effective hospital management. Planning. Planning is key to making a hospital great. The scholars say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Organizations have to make plan in order to survive and become great. For you to make plan, you have to assess your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats. Once you do that, then you now go ahead and make plans. Plans can be of 4 or more types. We start with the development plan. The development plan simply means a plan that takes care of the wishes and aspirations of an organization for almost 10 years. You sit down, the chief executive, members of planning procurement committee to chart a course for the institution in the next 10 years. That is what's meant here. Bring out what you want to achieve, itemize them, and you set the goal rolling. The next one is strategic plan. Strategic planning means planning for 5 years. At this juncture, I want to recognize and still be thankful to Professor Muhammad Al-Ghali, because when he was head of clinical services in Federal Medical Center as a 2007 and the likes, he was the champion of our strategic planning. I was an admin officer then, planning, and most of the planning work we did for strategic planning were championed by him. In fact, it almost became his brainchild during work. So I still appreciate him, and we're still proud that our strategic planning is part of his efforts, and we cherish that for many years to come. Thank you. Medium-term planning is planning for 3 years, then the annual planning is planning for 1 year. Then assessing environments. A good leadership has to assess the environment, meaning the society from where it comes from. Why? Because it has manpower drawn from that society. Most cases, if you are employing, you employ from the community you are in. Therefore, you have to give consideration to that community so that you can be useful and you can become great. Likewise, materials, money, and information. If you want to progress, you have to have a listening ear. Listen to the people you work with. Listen to the society you provide service. They will give you feedback, whether you are doing well or otherwise. Once you take that, assimilate it, you surely become great. Outputs. As an organization, a tertiary hospital like NMC, you need to determine how your output is making impact to the society. Meaning, how do you save lives? How do you prevent deaths by offering good and qualitative services? How do you investigate? Meaning, how do you run investigations and how do you treat your patients? Provided you do all these things with care, concern, and policy, you surely become a great hospital. Next slide. Material management. Material management is very key. It simply means the equipment and the instruments with which you provide services. Cost of buying them and cost of maintaining them. It's not enough to buy, you have to maintain. Equipment like MRI machine, CT scan. Once you buy, it's not enough. You have to maintain, you service them, and it costs a lot of money. For you to do that effectively and become great, you have to do planning, you have to do budgeting. Once you receive them, you make sure they are received in good order. You must have a receiving committee that will ensure that goods are received in good order. Likewise, you have to have a good storage system, where as you receive goods and services, you bring them out by issuing out relevant documents. Disposal. As time goes by, equipment and instruments become worn out. So there will be a time when they will be disposed. So the organization going to become great must find a way of disposing things that are obsolete so that it can now make room for buying of another ones, and the general public also gets some, particularly the staff, from the disposal exercise that is normally being done. Financial management. The fact that funds are not coming from federal government, organizations must find ways of trying to maximize costs. That's why I say capital budgets, zero-based budgeting, annual budgets, cost-benefit analysis, and cost-effective analysis must be imbibed by management so that they can save costs. Even when they have little funding, they can go ahead to become great by providing services, conducting research, and undertaking training. Next. Hospital information. Hospital information is very key because with EHR, I'm happy to say that everything has key in EHR. It's another platform of making possible planning to take place, because with EHR you have a lot of statistics therein and it will help you to make plan. Risk management. Management should try to avoid the following risks because it is anti-development. The first one is try to avoid death of patients arising from professional misconduct, because such kind of death always lead to violence. We should also try to avoid destruction of hospital properties. For you to do that, you have to have sanction for any staff that will usually destroy equipment and instruments. Damage by natural disaster. This is insurance cover. Management of tertiary hospital must have insurance cover for their equipment, for their vehicles, for their instruments, so that in the event they are destroyed by natural disasters, there will be a cover from which they can buy another set of equipment. Safety and security. Safety and security are very key because we are trying to deal with patients and patient relations. You need to secure the place. You need to make sure that whoever comes to service, to access service, has a free and secure environment to form and access service and go without molestation. Low ethics and code of conduct. That is another determining factor of making a hospital great. Simply put, there should be decorum. In service delivery, workers must be guided by rules and regulations. If they want to administer a surgery or what have you, they must understand. They will make sure that patients and patient relations understand the know-how of undergoing such treatment. Their consent must be sought. Statutory laws and judgment laws must be clearly understood. Simply means there should be protection of patient rights. Patient rights must be protected as well as service providers. By doing that, the hospital can be great. Last but not least, there should be quality management. Services must be right the first time, every time, and in fact at every other time. There should be professionalism and strict adherence to standard and ethics of service provision. In conclusion, for a hospital to be great, Many factors, as I said, at issue are responsible. But me personally, what care most is the leadership. Because it is the leadership that makes sure competent staff are employed, they are trained and retrained to provide service. It is the leadership that makes sure the limited resources given to that teacher hospital are utilized to provide service. It is the leadership that recognizes staff and award them just like what is taking place today. With this, I wish Federal Medical Center Misau rise to greater heights. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for this wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. You can see at times where you need two views to really come up with a very solid knowledge. You know, having listened to Professor Al-Qadi Mohammed, who is has been a CEO, a chief medical director, a clinician, a researcher. Then we have now listened to a seasoned administrator. They have all taken different approach to the same topic. And you can see, if you look at the two presentations, they are just merging together at a point. So they are all saying the same thing in a different way, which I believe any one of us that is following the presentations will believe me that we have really have a superior knowledge. Thank you so much, sirs, for this wonderful presentation. Your Highness, thank you for your patience. Honorable Sir, thank you for your patience. Our able visitors, thank you for your patience. By the special grace of God, we are still coming close to the end of the program. The next on the agenda is a very short drama to really illustrate, to also pass messages. You know, there are different ways of passing messages through, you know, write up, through drama and other things. I hope the people are coming, so please. We don't have another. Ina kabarin ne da margo mana gariyo harangi so dare ka je in ka ji kira da adira ka gara ka jira kwarai kuwa na dauko ya ka kira mu kuma mutu ba kuwa ya kana yaka ina da kawo mutu mana daya ne nan fa ba da jarabawa bane na da ku an samu towa kabari gariyo buku zamu towa ya da ku ai mana salati ai addu'a ya Allah wannan taron wanda mun so Allah ka tabbatar da alheri wanda yana tare da shi sai dai kuma ka fata shi kayan wani wuri da shi fata mun kira ku ba don komai ba saboda cikin shekara na wannan ci gaba da muka samu na asibiti. Asibiti ya shekara guda kuma muna godewa waɗanda suka tsaya asibiti ba kan sai zauna da gindinsa. Kaso sai an tsaya. Na biyu, duk abin da za a yi a samu zaman lafiya, domin zaman lafiya ya fi zama komai sai an zauna lafiya ci gaba ya shigo. In ba zaman lafiya wanda duba zai yiwu ba. Ina fata kun gane, saboda haka ku masu hannu da shuni ku saka hannu a aikin asibitin nan domin ya ƙara inganta. Idan ba ku za hannu ba zai inganta ba. Allah ya taimake mu mun samu ƴaƴa waɗanda suka tsaya akan asibitin ya kafo. Asibitocin nan da yawa aka yi, amma namu na nan gashi ana aiki shekara guda ba don komai mun samu jajirtattun ƴaƴa wanda suka tsaya a kai tun daga sama har nan ƙasa. Saboda haka muna musu godiya, Ubangiji Allah ya saka musu, Allah ya sa a ci gaba gaban masu ci gaba. Wannan shi ne bayanin da dama a matsayina na haƙi. Ina ba ta kun gani. Na ƙarshe bayanin da zan yawa maganan da zan yi ta ƙarshe, wai matasa da yawa waɗanda suka tsaya a kan lamarin nan kuma Allah ya saka musu. Kuma ina so in ja hankalin mutane, taimakon da ake ana yi yanzu ga haka mai shugaban ƙaramar hukuma ya taimaka. Yawa waɗanda suka taimaka wa asibiti, in ba taimaka ba zai tafi ba. Sannan zan yi bayani a kayan ma'aikata waɗanda aka ɗauke su sabin ɗauka. Na farko, ku yi ladabi, ku yi biyayya, kuma a zo aiki a kan lokaci. Kada kuma ka je ka a'a kana aiki ka rungumi bashin da da ba ka cinsa. Wannan duk ana yi. Sai mutum ana neman ka zo aiki a ce masu da ya kawo maka takarda ka tafi kotu. Kaga aiki bai yi ba. To don Allah a sha ruwa daidai gari. In aka yi haka ayyukan sosai su gudana. Ubangiji Allah saka wa kowa da kowa. Duk wanda ya zo gurin nan Allah mai da shi gida lafiya. Haji ko? To ne zan shiga ciki. Mun gode. Kabari. Abin da ya faɗa gaskiya ne. Ai magana ne a cikin magana. Kwarai kuwa. To ai baka sani ba gari. Ni maganar da ya naga kamar da ni. Kafin yau da safe ina tashi sai naga wani hajijiya wani jini kamar ana ganin rubuta. Me ya faru? Sai dai gudu na tsaye daga kafin ina nan kusa da gari. Sai na zo ni kemis. Ana gwada da sai aka ce hawan jini. To hawan jini na da aka gwada sai da 85. Sai ka ce wata akuya haba ta bai. Allah bai takaita da an yi haka da ni. Bayawan wani. To, amma me ya kama ka wannan hawan? Yawwa, wallahi dai laifi ne. Ni da dai na ci bashin banki 100,000. In an turo gudumawa sai su yi. A turo 30,000 su ɗauke. Kaga ba hawan jini ba hawan iwa masu ya kama. Amma daga ƙarshe ya faru. Daga ƙarshe da sai aka wani bawan Allah muka haɗu da shi sai ka zo asibiti mana. Ina zuwa asibiti a garin kallon gine-gine ma da babur ya doke. Aka kuwa yin haka inda ka san a birni. Ina shiga ina da tsoro saboda na ga wani da bakin wando ga yawo a baki ina so in tafi ya kama ni. Ina an dan sanda ne. Haka dai sai ga wani dan saurayi matashi. Ya ce babu me yasa ne ka? Na ce wallahi gashi. Ya ce zo mu je a gwada. Ta inda abin ya burge ni sai na ga dukkan matasa ne daga kalle mu sai ƴaƴan mu sai yanzu wallahi tallahi kafin a gwada ni a min magani saboda sanyin fanka ma sai na fara da fresh ji bature da sai daga nan jini sai ya sauka to ka bari da aka gwada ni sai gashi jini ya dawo 150 a kai ka bari abin na kuma akwai gariya akwai gariya jinin ke dawo 150 da ya ko babu kuma to ka san ai sha'anin abu kana ji ka bari mu gode wa Allah wani yasa ni fa kaga asibiti ne ina ga kamar a ƴan uwana Fulani ma aka yi da a je a ce mana ai asibiti ne in wani inda yalle na an to talaka kafin ne sai wai asibitin da aka yi a garin nan wai ai ba na talaka bane kuma a ce duk abun shirye ne ba haka bane ka bari wai dutoro yanzu abin da yake faruwa ciwon ƙashi, ciwon tsoka, ciwon jijiya, ya dai malakabi, kana ji na da kyau? Wankin ƙoda, ba inda za ka je a nan ɗin za a maka shi. To, su ba mahauta ba ne mahauta, ni ya kai su da ana gudu da kai ka ne ta da kai.
An gama dai.
Baban mulka, cikina yana ciwo ga bayana
Sai a fi su saurari abuwa suna fada miki ka wata kada ne na ce maka ka je hospital ka je chemist wannan mai chemist ne ma na fi rubutu mai kyau da ya tukuna duwala duwa nabi kai ne kana da ciki na ce ka tafi inda sa guda ka a son mai ke akwai a wurin kuma yanzu dai karamin da ina tsammani kuma cikin ka bakwai ne kuma a gurin akwai dashi da ana ajiye karamin jariri irin wancan din ba ka je ba ina ruwanka kudin da zai kai nawa ne ba naka ba ina sa rana ina sha ruwa ina shawa sai don tara kudin rufa asirin kaina amma kai ka je wuri mai arha da tunani san baka kudin din kare ke kai ha iro Allah saboda haka hospital ne na ce ka je ta shoya Ford Mart zuwa hospital Ford Mart mu tafi
Yana kurma ba lafiya, shuru dai, ina gaba lafiya ɗan kurman nan gaskiya. To, wannan dole ɗan fa yau ba lafiya, lallai yadda na hango sai na burkucen nan. Kai, ya kai, ya, bubun mu kai da banyan, wallahi ta, babba da ni, Allah wata albarka. Dabda tadi, dabda tadi, dengar dah, dabda tadi army, rubutu, ayo, ya jelas kadang-kadang buka orang nanti kadang masalahnya army, awalnya jangan awalnya, kaya, dabda tadi, Dokter tadi, muka kirki ne wallahi gaskiya ne kai ke gara biyar da ta mu agar nan lafiya kuma faja baba mu allura yayi lafiya da zo mu ma aure mun ara kai mun ara yawa Allah magal barka to Allah magal barka kun burge ni yawa kai kike na barka yawa dan nan gobe ina da dako ka bari kana ji dan Allah idan ka je wurin taron nan kana ji ka gode wa mai martaba ban gode mai martaba ba ma dai gobe masu anguwanni ma muke musu biyayya sai kan kar ka san dalili ga dako san da zuwa ka san dalili wallahi mai martaba ne yayi tsayuwar daka sai da tabbata ce zalla ana Allah kana jin dalili yau ba dan an ce tabbata ce bane anan bayo Allah ne ai da abun ya rugurguje kasan su biyu ne Hassan da Husaini ne da shi da secretary din
Me su gadi mawakata din, mawakatan guri din. Kasu, Zainabi, ka san da nake je wada? Me gaba da mawakata da nake yi da shugaban ma'aikata. Kai kokari ma da ka gane, ni kan ban ma gane ba. Kasu shi ne ka ya kore akan aiki duka. Ya kore. Shi ya sa ya yi hada kai su daya ya kawo musu ci gaba wani wuri kuma ci gaba ne a mune fa amu ake yi wa yanzu Allah da ne tambaye ka yara kanana da wando kan wani ba sai karatu mai yawa suna yi sara an ba zaman daba an rage zaman daba ba zaman daba roke da wando ga masu sara ga masu gadi wala yanzu ko karami mutane ba taimake su ba an ce maka
lada ku ai arewar ta tara abu da yawa shi kansa wakilin arewa
farin banza ba su ga mai farin duka a
sukari ba kai farin banza
haka ne
wallahi da za a rinka samun shugabanni irinsu ai garin nan da ta fi haka kuma bayan ta fi haka ma sai ka nemi matashi kwaya ɗaya a bakin hanya na zanna ba amma sai ka zauna a daba ba zaura ta wuce a zage ta attajiri ya wuce a zage shi dan siyasa ya wuce a zage shi yanzu haka babu ne ka je ka zaune kan wannan je ka gurin wace da wani zai maka abin da kai je ka ni yanzu kana hanyar
saboda ka kai ina bada magana
Please, another round of applause for this drama group. I hope at least we are educated. Thank you very much for this drama, which really reflects a lot of things that are happening in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on one of the most important parts of this gathering, which is award presentation. This segment, when the Mohammed Karim was making his presentation, he quotes from the civil service rule. So this is purely administrative. This segment is going to be anchored by no any other person but the discipline master, the scribe, and the chief administrator of this hospital in person of Malam Suleiman. But before that, this awards ceremony and selection of the awardees was performed by a committee that was selected and charged with the responsibility to come up with those staff of the hospital that that distinguish themselves in their different fields of endeavors within the hospital. This committee was chaired by myself and with other 5 members. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, Sir, Your Highness, Sir, it was really a great task to select somebody as I said, it was really a great task, you understand, to select who is the best among the hard-working staff of FMC itself. We believe, and has been testified by the medical director, that he really commends the effort of each and every one of us. It was really a task. So I just want to make a declaration on behalf of the committee that we exercise to the best of our ability, high level of transparency, diligence in making this selection devoid of any sentiment. And as you are aware, we distributed forms to different departments in which we asked each staff
to make a nomination of one junior and one senior staff. And there are about 8 to 10 attributes to be assessed. And you are not marked to each of the attributes, starting from efficiency to the last part of the assessment form. And we collated all the field forms and analyzed them using Excel. It was really not an easy task, but alhamdulillah, as the committee is blessed with young, talented personnel that are very good in computer, because analyzing this data is not an easy task. So we use different methods to arrive at who is the best in different departments. And as you can see, we have categorized the awards into two. We have the clinical staff and the non-clinical staff. For the clinical staff, we have senior staff and junior staff. We also have the non-clinical staff is also categorized into senior and junior. And we did not let out our outsourced services, the securities of the hospital, the cleaners, as well as the gardeners, because these are the people that are also very important and supportive staff, which we really appreciate their services. So we also recognize some of them. We have like about 49 people that will be awarded from the various units as the best in their own places. But as I've said, we are all humans. We only try our best, and then as the, power conferred on us as the committee, we select the best to the best of our ability. If I want to urge you to please forgive our shortcomings in case we've erred, but this is the best we can do, and we've learned a lot, and we hope the one that is going to be next year will be better. So I think without wasting much of our time,
Hajiya ki zo ki. Tana zuwa.
Your Highness, the area of the South, the Chairman, Mr. Local Government, other invited dignitaries, good afternoon. Especially with the responsibility of announcing the awardees. But because of time constraints, not all of the awardees will be announced right away. Hello? Let's have one house. Hello? Can you hear me? It's okay if you quiet. Maybe I will call your name as one of the recipients of the award, and you are making noise. We are all aware of what happened over the weekend. His Royal Highness was engaged in lots of activities about family ceremony, etc., etc. Despite this commitment, His Highness made it to the venue of this event and will not waste much of his time by insisting that Your Highness will remain till the end of the program. But since it's a unique opportunity for some people who are working here and probably to receive an award from His Highness, who invite the overall best. We'll start with the overall best. The chairman of the committee told you the categories of the awards. There are departmental awards which will be presented later. But We will now invite the overall best to receive their award from His Highness the Emir of Misau and the Chairman of local government. Then we excuse them. Then later on we continue with the presentation of the remaining departmental awards. Thank you. The Chairman of the committee will lead me. Okay. For the awards are divided into two categories. We have clinical and non-clinical. For the clinical also is divided into two. There are senior and there are junior. Now I will start in the senior category of the clinical services. The second best is Sumaya Awal Kasim from ONG. Sumaya Awal Kasim from ONG. I hope she is here. I will invite His Highness to present the award to Sumaya as the first clinical junior staff of the year 2025. Thank you very much. The best senior staff is Dr. Ismail Tianu, also from ONG Department.
When I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. When I fall down, I have to pick myself back
Your Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the best clinical award goes to Dr. Ismail Tianu. And just as it is, Dr. Ismail Tianu is currently in theater and is not speaking. He has said it clear that he cannot be here for this to receive this award. Despite even medical director calling him because of the severity of the patient he is attending to. He will be represented by collect the award for him. Thank you. Please extend the best regard of His Highness to him. and we wish him success in his theater operation. For the non-clinical award, we would invite the chairman, Mr. Olopechom, to kindly come forward and make a presentation. The second best non-clinical award, junior category, goes to Abdullahi Umar from Works and Maintenance Department. It's biomedical by training. We will not have time to read the citations.
Ya no, Hajiya. Ki zanna man kanka so.
Thank you, sir. The best non-clinical senior staff award goes to Adamu Lamara, also from Works and Maintenance Department. Adamu Lamara is the technical officer, engineering. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you about the commitment of His Highness. I wish I would have time to tell you much about the role of His Highness from beginning to date as it relates to this institution. But time will not permit that. And I'm even sure His Highness will prefer Almighty Allah to reward him than any other thing for what he has done to Federal Medical Center. Despite all that, we would like His Highness to please say a word or two before he takes his leave as goodwill message. Your Highness, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It is with gratitude to the Almighty that I have the opportunity to be here. In usual protocol, we have to mention the important people that are here. But I would like to skip that after recognizing the chairman of the local government, and I say all the others are respected. Let me just say, we have listened to 2 lectures. I wish to align myself with Dr. Kari. Personally, because I read public administration, I really graduated public administration in 1973. In the course of my career in the civil service, I was permanent secretary establishment. Therefore, most of the things that you were talking about, though I cannot remember them now fully, but they used to be my stamp in office. Besides that, in the year of my Lord in the 80s, I was the executive secretary of the Posters Managing Board of Bauchi State. Consequently, here, I have to go back to what Professor Ali said. And that is what we have to avoid. That is, unionism has destroyed the essence of humanity. What I'm saying about here is this. The greatest challenge I had when I was the secretary to the Hostel Management, executive secretary of the Hostel Management, that is the GA, FMC Bauchi, Misao, FMC Azare, Teaching Hostel Bauchi, all this were then underneath. Then, but the point is, the greatest challenge I had was unionism, particularly of the doctors. Some of you know, one of the doctors
was my classmate from junior primary school. We started from Jagoda in 1960. We got to Aversa, we went to the university together. He was my classmate from the root. And when this issue of union came, he really forgot me. He really forgot me. And I had to weather the storm alone. Consequently, I wish all the medical staff, all medical personnel to remember that there is God. They have a responsibility to humanity and not essentially tied only to humanity. And this is my appeal. I was, at one stage, I went to the hospital with a patient who had an accident. And they are using torchlight, torchlight to make stitches. Torchlight. What can you say to these people? Allah ne kawai reward them. Allah ne kawai reward them. And I am a firm believer that whatever you do, Allah is seeing you and will reward you. So Wadaka is my honest hope that all medical staff, all medical personnel will put in their best and leave everything to God. Allah is come. I think I don't have to say much because with my own experiences and so on, I'm happy with this position. But I have to apologize for not coming early and making this, we didn't start the program as it was due to. As it was said, I was busy doing other things, and really, with all the age, Senamanta. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Amin, amin. Muna godiya mai martaba. Muna godiya. Kafin mai martaba ya tashi, mun samu wani gudunmawa kashi na biyu. Wannan shine karo na biyu da shugaban samari Alhaji Honorable Bosco Magari ya kawo karo a tsaya mana. Idan gaya mana uku ai. Idan gaya mana uku. Na uku ai kujerar da nake zama a ofis Honorable Bosco Magari shi ya saya ya kawo ki. Yau kuma gashi ya sake kawo kayan asibiti gudunmawa da Allah ya sa kana gani za mu shaida maka ka gani ka sa albarka. Sannan za mu gayyaci mai martaba ba da hanya zai shiga cikin ofis din medical director inda zai ga gudunmawar da shi kansa mai martaba ya bamu ya ga abin da muka yi da shi a cikin ofishin medical director da sake sa mana albarka kafin mu raka shi mota. Sannan mai martaba ya ce in ga maka chairman sauran abin nan shi yana da hidima amma za ka zauna ka karisa mana a matsayin na wakilin arewa za ka karisa mana wannan taro tare insha Allah. Ku gafara a gefen nan.
My destiny, I have waited patiently. I have been to one. I can't count. Stand up.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Now let's continue where we stopped. His Highness, the Emir of Misau, has left a message that we should immediately make make correction for the announcements we have been making. But we need to clarify so that you can have it in your record that Professor Muhammad Al-Kali Dambam is presently a member of Emirate Council, Emirate Council, and he is among the key GOPD. In GOPD, Dr. Ahmad Muhammad. Dr. Ahmad around. The best staff in nursing services, ANE unit, is Mustafa Muhammad. Mustafa Muhammad. ANE. Mustafa Muhammad. I will still invite the chairman of the local government to help us and make the presentation so that our staff will have group photograph with Dambu Maihawa Uku. The best staff in male medical ward, nursing services department is Aliu Garba Jalam. Both medical and female surgical. Male medical and female surgical.
Male medical, male surgical.
Okay, male medical and male surgical. The best staff is Aliu Garba Jalam. Okay, Mustafa Mohammed was for ENT. For the A&E is Mariam Abdullahi Akwem. For the A&E. Is Mariam around?
Somebody should come and collect for her.
Her unit head should come and collect for her.
Somebody should come and collect for her.
For the dialysis unit, the best clinical staff is Abdullahi Ahmad. For the female medical and female surgical ward is Yusuf Musa Baba. Yusuf Musa Baba. For pediatric EPU, the best is Ibrahim Mohammed Lawal. Ibrahim Muhammad Lawal. For the SCBU, Special Care Baby Unit, is Napiu Al-Qasim. Napiu Al-Qasim. For maternity unit is Safina to Ismail Dan Musa. Okay. After giving 10, I think we are grateful, sir. Sarki ne ce ka tsaya.
ya kamata a ce na mai dubu ba ko
a haba ok to shi ke dokaji ya ce ka je amma za ka ɗan yi jawabin ka sai ka wuce dan one or two words haka a ku shaurari shugaban karamar hukumar Misau zai takaitaccen jawabi.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. The medical director FCC Misau, Dr. Rufai Ilachi, Dokagen Hana, Federal Teaching Hospital Azare, my elder brother, Professor Alkali, all security agencies who are here present, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The chairman of this occasion, I like to speak in the House of Security and everybody alone.
Yes.
Da farko ni da magana suna na hula Rusali sosai da wakilin Arewa mai sau shugaban karamar hukumar Musa.
Dambu mai hawa uku.
Yau na cike da farin ciki da wannan taro na ƙarshen shekara da wannan asibiti mai albarka ya asasa wanda yau na utilesin a ƙasa da shekara 2 da aka yi wannan asibiti a nan jihar Bauchi a karamar hukumar Musa, wanda abu ne da muka ji daɗi na iyaye da kakanni da jikoki da za su kaka, wanda ya asasa wani abu shi ɗa ne, ɗan gida ne, kuma ɗanmu ne, jininmu ne. Na nuna wani halarci mun san mun haifi ɗan halar. Duk da turanci da ya ratsa shi, wallahi bai manta da gida ba. Wani abu ne muna shaida wa duniya cewar wallahi muna tare da shi kuma muna guda wa jima gwamna da ba da dama da miƙa wannan asibiti a fitar gama har ya zo a yanzu wanda duk ma'aikata ne da aka ɗauka a ɗan ƙanƙanin lokaci, wallahi a so suke, a ciki suke kwana, a ciki suke sha, duk abin da za su sa a so suke su na fi kowa farin wannan ci gaba ne da ya zo mana a ɓangaren tattalin arziki a ƙaramar hukumar Musa. Ci gaba ne ya zo mana a harkar lafiya a ƙaramar hukumar Musa. Abinda za mu tafi azare ne to yanzu nesa ta zo kusa. Ita jinya ba neman ta ake amma dole ta sami. Saboda haka ana kama da wannan asibiti cikin sauƙi, to muna addu'a Allah ya ƙara albarka a wannan asibiti. Zan yi kira a sabbin a waje da aka ba su karramawa ta musamman, wanda cewar ku ne injin room na wannan asibitin, su waɗannan supervisors, amma ku ne field marshals, ku ne masu operation, ku ne masu shara, ku ne masu kamar drip, ku ne masu bayan bishiya, ku ne masu gaji. Aka duba the best performance na waɗannan office kowa daga department daga sections da yake. To don Allah na kira a gare ku ƙara himma, ku ƙara asara. Allah ya sa baɗi a watan da za a bayar ba irin wani takardar za a bayar ba. A watan excellence dole mu shiga ciki, sai mu idan da ranmu idan muna nan gaskiyar magana a watan da za a bayar kowa sai ya ji a jikinsa domin za mu shiga. Saboda haka sauran ‘yan uwa da ba su samu ba ya zama izina gare ku domin ku tsaya a kan aikin. Wani abin da aka yi an yi ne tsakani da Allah.
Wakilin Arewa ne ko sun kai Arewa ne?
An tace aka samu har yanzu abin farin ciki ne a cikin wani gayyar a zaƙo ka kai a karrama ka, ko a ce ka kai da sarki da sokanci da hoto ma ya mutu da ba. Bada kuwa ce shi zai miƙa maka takarda ta girmamawa a kan aikin. Saboda haka Allah ya yi na da abokai da ƙanni da ‘ya'ya da suke wani wuri don Allah kowa sa himma. Kamar yadda mai wata ba faɗa, duk abin da zaka Allah na gani. Wurin nan ba zai ginu ba zai rayu ba sai da ku.
saboda haka ku riƙe amanar da Allah kuma zai taimake mu. Daga ƙarshe don zan yi bayani ka amma ni ma na ta hanya saboda muhimmancin abun na yi kurcin da ce kowa ya ne da sai na zo ina zaune a nan kamar akan gane saboda official engagement ne zan tafi ne ya kamata yanzu a ce na yi kusan shikama amma dole na hakura saboda kankina da wannan dan uwan nawa da suka ga mun dole na hakura yau kwana da wannan taro da aka yi wani Allah sa albarka Allah sa na wani a wannan ya farka kuma ya canja salo wanda mu ka san yin siyasa
gaskiya ne
kuma an yi a wani ya kuna so ya zama mai wani abaci
alaikum salam we are grateful we are very much grateful Rakashi ko Rakashi so that's the Rakashi Nazare yes I now invite the Chief Medical Director, Federal University of Health Science Teaching Hospital Azare, to continue with the presentation of the awards. Mizanna Dujuma of Katago. First, yes. The best theater and anesthetic award goes to Abubakar Garba Gumau. Abubakar Garba Gumau. Thank you. The best dental award goes to Sabo Kaua, dental unit. For the chemical pathology medical lab, the winner is Yusuf Aliu. Yusuf Aliu, Kempat. For hematology, the winner is Shamsuddin M. Musa. And for microbiology, the winner is Muhammad Aliu. For microbiology, Muhammad Aliu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We now invite the Wakilin Gona Misong, Talban Dambam, Member Emirate Council Misong, Professor Mohammed Al-Kali Dambam, the DVC admin, Husa, to make the following presentations. For the pharmacy department is Ashuru Musa Gololo, pharmacy department. Ashuru, the head of department should come and collect for Ashuru if she is around. For physiotherapy, the winner is Abdullahi Yusuf Garba. Abdullahi Yusuf Garba is a therapy unit. For nutrition and dietetics, the winner is Kauya Haya. Kauya Haya. For MyCons, Mama Elwa College of Nursing Services, the winner is Bappa Baba Waziri. For social welfare, the winner is Abdurrahman Umar. Social welfare. Abdurrahman Umar for social welfare. For environmental health, the winner is Abdullahi Ibrahim Karamba. Environmental health. For the Health Information Management Unit, the winner is Ibrahim Bello. Ibrahim Bello. For the Scanning Unit, Radiology Department, the winner is Adamu Muhammad Awal.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. Grateful. MD fa. MD mu ina za mu kai shi non clinical senior.
To ko shi DA dai kan ba
To GA ba da
mai honorin din bakin mu kafin mu kira shi.
Saboda kuke akwai baya za mu shiga na baya za mu kira security agencies ne. Okay, for the junior staff category, may I invite my friend? Where is he? Okay.